Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Wednesday evening. As always, I bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Aina Kweo. In the news tonight, the National Petroleum Corporation of Namibia and Canadian firm Reconnaissance Energy Africa are still discussing NAMCO's plans to sell 5% of its stake in its joint oil exploration project in the Okavango Basin. NAMCO currently has a 10% stake in the project and Recon Africa the rest. In February 2022, Recon Africa said it entered into a letter of intent with NAMCO to acquire half of Namibian SOE's 10% carried participating interest in the approximate 6.3 million acres of petroleum exploration license in the Okavango Basin. In April 2022, Recon Africa said it entered into an extension to the letter of intent with NAMCO regarding the proposed transaction. Last September, Recon Africa said it entered into a definite purchase of sale agreement with NAMCO. At the time, Recon Africa said the completion of the transaction was expected to occur before the end of last year. Moving over to our next story. President of the Southern African Association for Research in Mathematics, Science and Technology Education, Kenneth Koga, announced that Namibia will host the 2024 SAMSTEC conference. Let's have a look.
Of course, we should be asking ourselves some hard questions. What is it that we need to do together as Africans to ensure that Africa is on the map? Africa thrives. Africa can do things on its own. Is not dependent on other people. For that to happen, we need to be holding hands and working together. We need to be sharing the main resources that we have, both human resources and capital resources. We should share all the time. And as I said earlier on, sharing is not a foreign concept to Africans. Africans are born to share, and we've been breastfed by Ubuntu, by our beautiful mothers. So we need to take that Ubuntu into a space of promoting research. I'm speaking here on behalf of the president of SAMSTEC, Tulsimo, who could not be here, and who has asked me to apologize for him. And he delegated this task to me, and I said, I'm more than happy to champion this. We need champions for these things to happen. For example, this year at the SAMSTEC conference in Bloemfontein, we had 4 representatives from Namibia. And that is none other than our chair, Ms. Mafanya Makuti, Dr. Angela Sliveve, who could not be here, Mr. Tasara Manamike, and Ms. Esther Shinana. They presented at the conference to say that Namibia is ready to host the SAMSTEC conference in 2024. Namibia last hosted the SAMSTEC conference in 2005. Sadly, I couldn't come at that time, but I was already very much actively involved in SAMSTEC.
For the past 3 years, the All People's Party owes a company partly owned by its acting president Nangolo Shumbwa and his siblings over 300,000 Namibian dollars. The money, which was used to partly fund the party's 2019 elective congress as well as that year's presidential and National Assembly election campaign. The party is failing to pay back the money despite receiving over $1 million per year from the government government since 2020 after having secured 2 seats in the National Assembly. This and a bombshell of information emanates from a recent suspension of the party's Secretary General Vincent Kanyentu, who stands accused of failing to keep records of how the Shumbwa's money was used. When contacted for comment, Shumbwa confirmed that he was approached by the party and that he went to consult his sibling, whom he has businesses with, who agreed to give out a soft loan to assist the party. Surprisingly, the soft loans were never deposited into the main bank's account of the party, which is well described by Shumbwa as it was in the minors, and there was no penny in the party's kitty. Shumbwa said the party did not have a single cent when they borrowed that money. Moving over to our next story, just like Ohangwena region, Ochikoto continues to battle with the current dry season, leaving the communities and livestock without water. Ochikoto Regional Governor Penda Yandakolo said the region continues to experience problems with water scarcity, particularly in the remote, deep rural areas where water pressure is low and salty. Yandakolo said Ochikoto Regional Council has completed the installation of Omukukilila borehole in the Nehare Jampingana constituency and the extension of the Oshiagaya water pipeline in the Omtele constituency and the Eakulo pipeline extension in the Engodi constituency. Over to our next story this week, the Road Fund Administration will host a 19-member delegation from the Democratic Republic of Congo who will observe different roads and corridors in Namibia. According to the World Economic Forum's Global Competitive Report Index of 2020, Namibia scored 5.2 out of 7 with road quality and infrastructure, ranking above neighboring South Africa and Rwanda. RFA gave an outline of a 5-year financial plan, and during the consultative benchmark meeting with DRC delegates on Tuesday, revealed that for the 2023-2028 financial plans, Road Authority will need 1.5 billion Namibian dollars for overall road maintenance. Among these is the reconstruction of the MR 118 Rospina Oranjemund Road after flash flood destroyed it earlier this year. The road was reopened to the public in March and will cost 100 million Namibian dollars. Now, in our story of the day segment, Kuro Namibia Managing Director Klute Rickett talks about her vision for Walvis Bay Gymnasium. More on this after the break. We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment. Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country. In our story of the day segment, Kuro Namibia Managing Director Klute Rickett talks about her vision for Walvis Bay Gymnasium at the groundbreaking ceremony of the school. Have a look.
You are here to see a wonderful new chapter in the history of education in Namibia unfolding. 20 years ago, the Lord laid the foundation for an institution and a group of institutions to change the landscape of education in Namibia, and to do so with a firm foundation of a Christian belief and a Christian foundation for learners to know how special they are, to know that they matter, to know that we deeply care about them as individuals and about their optimal growth, so that they can develop into the most beautiful citizens and the most beautiful adults to be leaders in our nation in the future and really impact us. We Namibians are so well known for their love and for their warm-heartedness. I think that is what we have to set forth through our youth that they know this is a country where we love one another and where we care about one another. These new buildings are the physical embodiment of our unwavering commitment to education and the pursuit of excellence. It's a momentous occasion as we mark the beginning of a transformative journey for our school. These buildings, meticulously designed and constructed, will serve as the cradle of knowledge, innovation and holistic development for generations to come. In an era where education is evolving rapidly, we have chosen to embrace a holistic approach to learning. Our aim is to nurture young minds, not only in academic brilliance, but also in character, resilience, creativity, and kindness. We firmly believe that education must go beyond the confines of textbooks and the confines of classrooms. Our holistic approach encompasses the intellectual, emotional, social, and physical development of each student. Walvis Bay Gymnasium, together with its sister schools, Windhoek Gymnasium and Oshana Gymnasium, of which we did the groundbreaking yesterday, is so much more than just another school. It's a place where we care deeply about every child's optimal growth and development of his and or her character. We do so by maintaining high academic standards, providing a strong Christian foundation to equip our learners to stand strong in an uncertain world and to give the optimal training and opportunities in sport and culture activities. We've seen all the changes in the transformation from Dolphin schools to Walvis Bay Gymnasium. The science laboratories, the computer labs, the robotics labs, the specialist classrooms will be performance spaces that will unleash the creative potential within each learner, fostering imagination and self-expression. The offering of the Cambridge International Curriculum will give our learners the edge for admission to international universities and a strong academic and emotional basis for success in their tertiary studies. So next year we'll see all the beautiful photos of the new sports facilities where they will run around and just enjoy their sport so much more. So that is the picture, the design of the new school. The first part that you are seeing here that is being built is the new pre-primary school. And the pre-primary school has 9 classrooms, 1 afternoon care facility, and a reception, and then the high school block. So in the pre-primary school in 2024, we'll host the pre-primary, grade 0s and grade 1 to 3. And then in the high school block, 1 auditorium, a computer lab, 19 classrooms, 4 laboratories, 1 culinary class, 1 staff room, and an office and reception. And then the first sports facilities will be the 2 hard surface netball courts, 1 grass sport field, and a basketball court and volleyball court. That will be built by the middle of December 2023 for us to utilize from the start of January 2024. So already a lot to look forward to, but then in 2024 we will complete the primary school block, also with the robotics, science, physics and computer labs, 22 classrooms, 1 culinary class, reception and the staff room, and a beautiful, impressive assembly hall, including a nice cafeteria and an admin block, and then also more sports field, the new global international Astro Field, and the sports stadium for rugby, soccer, cricket, athletics, all the sports that our learners want to do. And that is it from my side. I want to thank you for sharing in this very, very special moment with us, and know that this is only the beginning. We've already started with so much excitement and bringing so many new things to the children of the Erongo region.
In economic news, after the break, South Africa's inflation slows to a 13-month low after the break. In our economic news tonight, May's annual consumer price inflation in South Africa slowed to a 6.3% from a 6.8% in April, with food prices finally cooling. May's inflation rate, which was also slowed by an easing in fuel prices, is the lowest since April 2022, Statistic SA said. It was also cooler than economists expected. The median expectation among economists in Bloomberg survey was 6.5%. Now let's have a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades for 23 Namibian dollars 45 cents to the British pound and 20 Namibian dollars 17 cents to the euro. Copper and Brent crude oil went up while gold and platinum decreased, and our Brent crude oil were increased with 2.26%. After the break, we return with our international news. Stay with us. A forensic geoscientist said the search of the submersible that went missing during a tourist expedition to the wreckage of the Titanic was like finding a mine in a minefield. The submersible taking wealthy tourists to visit a site of the Titanic wreckage in deep waters off the coast of Canada was missing for the US and the Canadian ships and planes swept a huge area trying to find the vessel. The submersible was headed to a deep part of the Atlantic Ocean. The experts from the Cayley University in the United Kingdom described the list of reasons it was so hard to find the sub in an interview with the BBC. The area is huge and hard to access, he said. Canadian aircraft detected undersea noises on Tuesday, prompting one of the missing passengers' friends to say there was always hope they will be found alive. Let's have a look at this video.
As we've been hearing, it's super challenging. For the water depth is one big thing. If it's on the bottom of the ocean, it's very few subs can actually get that far. And also the search area is huge. I think I've heard one report saying they're trying to find a mine in a minefield. It's super small. And if you're in the Titanic wreckage, there's all the other things there. So where's the sub and where's everything else? So that's super challenging as well. And obviously the bottom of the ocean is not necessarily flat either. It could be quite rugged, could be in a canyon, things like that. So really tricky challenge.
There's always hope. As an explorer, you would never give up anyway. I'm quite sure they're sitting there, like Terry said, conserving oxygen, trying to keep calm, doing everything that they can, which should be somewhat limited, and just we all hope that people can get to it in time.
And Chris, going through your mind, I know, is the fact that you had considered a trip like this.
That is correct. That's not really the focus of what we want to be talking about right now. There's lives at risk. We need to be thinking about trying to rescue those poor souls. Everything else can be dealt with later.
Yeah. But were you due to be on this particular submersible?
No, not necessarily. I'd signed up to do the same sort of trip, yeah.
But had decided against, or?
Like I said, let's concentrate on them trying to rescue these people.
Okay.
We return shortly with the weather predictions for tomorrow.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Here are the weather predictions for tomorrow. The northern region is expecting maximum temperatures which are ranging from 27.7 degrees to 31 degrees with clear conditions throughout the day. The coastal region is expecting maximum temperatures which are ranging from 16.5 degrees to 28.1 degrees with clear conditions throughout the day. We take a look at the sports package proudly sponsored by Sports Reb shortly.
To another exciting episode of Oneuptwo.
Hier is die weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis julle moontlik gaan byt.
Good evening and welcome to your Sunset News Sports section. I'm your host, Limba Mobetami. Namibian activist, politician and former mayor of City of Windhoek, Job Amupanda, is looking for a platform to raise money for the renovation of rural sports facilities. The former mayor took to social media to share that he was last in the ring 2 years ago at the MTC Knockout GBV boxing event and is thus looking for an opponent to fight him. Only this time, the fight will be to raise money for sports facilities. The 2023 edition of the Paratus Namibian Cycle Classic was launched in the capital today. Viewed as Namibia's premier family fun-filled outdoor recreational event, the Cycle Classic is a community service and fundraising event of the Rotary Club Windhoek. Aisel Tyson, the president of the Namibia Cycling Federation, also spoke at the launch. Well, of course, that brings us to the end of tonight's evening sports news. Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraifa. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Thank you very much for joining our show tonight. Here are the highlights in case you're just joining us or perhaps you missed some of our top stories. For the past 3 years, the All People's Party owes a company partly owned by its acting president Nangolo Shumbwa and his siblings over 300,000, money which was used to partly fund the party's 2019 elective congress as well as that year's presidential and National Assembly election campaigns. This week, the Road Fund Administration will host a 19-member delegation from the Democratic Republic of Congo who will observe different roads and corridors in Namibia. Namibian activist and politician and former mayor of the city of Windhoek, Job Amupanda, is looking for a platform a platform to raise money for the renovations of the rural sports facilities. The former mayor took to social media to share that he was last in the ring 2 years ago at the MTC's Knockout GBV boxing event and is thus looking for an opponent to fight him. Only this time the money will go to the money is for sports facilities, excuse me. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's broadcast. Please do make sure you join Sunset News on all our social media platforms. Those are NMH platforms, as well as on our website, which is called Oneuptwo. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285, as well as GoTV channel 25. This has been Sunset News. Please don't end your day without us. Good night.